Okay, so we're joined by Josh Wright after Torquay 1, Ipswich 0. Josh, just your thoughts on that game for us today?
A complete game of two halves, Katie. Well, I say that the first 10 minutes asked for a good start, a fast start, and it's exactly what we got. And that's the most, I wouldn't say confusing, but that's probably the most frustrating thing for us, because everything we wanted in the first 10-15 minutes we got. What we spoke about, we've had 2 free shots, 2 free openings, corners, and we started on the front foot. I wouldn't say we out and out pinned them in, but with the wind behind us after spinning it around, it was everything I wanted, and all of a sudden we just retreated and we dropped 5 or 10, and they started to play some of their good stuff, and a couple of their good players that obviously drift in from wide areas were starting to cause some problems. But I was really disappointed with the 30 minutes after that first 10-15 minutes in the first half, and Torquay were the better side. They were the better side in that, but then in terms of the second half, after the first 4 or 5 minutes, obviously they had the wind behind them. Listen, we have to score with the openings and the opportunities that we've got and the areas that we've got in. I thought the substitutions in terms of the subs who come on were absolutely superb. They had a massive effect on the team and changing the game, but we have to get at least a point out of that in the end. And it's a tough place to come. It's a really, really tough place to come. That's 5 in 5 that they've now won here. But I've just said to the boys in there, that's probably the team that teams are going to be chasing in a couple of weeks' time. They'll be certainly up in the top 2 or 3. It probably might even be in and around that now. Well, they certainly will be. But that's the levels. And we've come here and been poor for 30 minutes first half, but we should be walking away with a point. And that's the frustrating thing. But I tried to look at positives, and there were some positives, especially second half. There were some really, really good positives out of it, really good stuff. But we can't be giving goals away. We can't be giving teams leads like that. And it was a soft goal from our part. There was a little bit of fortune for them and with the win. But listen, I'm disappointed with a big chunk of the first half, but I'm really pleased with the second half. But we should be coming away with a point.
And you mentioned that there were some positives in that game. One of them is that we saw Kwesi Appiah back in action today. How did you see his half hour that he played today? Kwesi,
I've said this already, and I need to try and say it in the best way possible, but Kwesi's a really, really big player for us. A really big player for us, and we've missed him. And it's probably cost us points. It has. It's probably most likely cost us points over recent weeks. And he came on, and we see what he's about. He's a man. He's a leader. He can hold it up. He can flick it on. He's obviously had 1 or 2 half chances today, but he'll be massive for us having back. And I'm really pleased to see him out there. But like the others who come on as well, and we've lost 1 or 2 this week. A little bit of illness in camp, and 1 or 2 players who maybe would have started, who were on the bench, who weren't quite ready for different reasons. But listen, hopefully we're getting some bodies back now. It's been a tough little run. Obviously the win in the FA Cup last week helped, and we'd had a couple of draws prior to that. But we need to get back. We need to get back to some winning ways. And what I want to say is we can't get too high, obviously, when we were winning games, and we can't get too low. That's how I have to be that. I have to breed that. But us as a football club, the players, the staff, the fans, everyone has to be like that, because it spins very quickly, and we're not far away. We're not far away. A lot of their players and different people saying we thoroughly deserved the point today, and we did. But we need to make sure we get that point, get that next 3 points, and get back on track. But we're not a million miles away. And when it does turn, when it does click, I can see us pushing on. And we know what the levels are now. We know who's at the top. We've played a few of them in recent weeks, and it's down to us to chase them down.
And obviously you mentioned that there was a couple of changes due to illness today. Also, by the fact that we're in between 2 FA Cup fixtures, did that have any part to play as well?
No, not really. Look, I made some changes last week, and the boys were really good last week, albeit against obviously lower opposition in terms of leagues. But no, look, I picked a team today that I thought would beat Torquay. And the first 5-10 minutes, I'm thinking, here we go, it's going to come off, and we just let ourselves down a little bit, our levels and our standards. But no, there was no real thinking in the fact there's 2 FA Cup games either side. As I say, I've come with a bare 18, again, because of some illness and injuries back at home, but also 1 or 2 on the bench who probably would have started if there wasn't for 1 or 2 niggles and issues going on. But it happens to every side, and it's not a complaint, it's not an excuse. We have to deal with that, and that's why we have a squad. I'm just bitterly disappointed that we've not walked away from here with a point, because it was the least we deserved in terms of we didn't deserve to get beat in the end. Probably a draw would have been a fair result, and I think everyone would admit that. But we haven't got that, so we have to regroup. We have to get back to the training ground with a long journey behind us now. And whilst I say that about a long journey, I want to go on record in thanking those fans up there. To see that many numbers here today, in terms of the start of the season and the amount of games that we've had in recent weeks, and the FA Cups either side of it, it's absolutely incredible with the amount of fans that come, that support us right the way to the end, that have clapped us off, that see a team going for it and probably deserving something, as I say. And it's a massive thank you from me, my staff, the players and everyone associated with the football club, because they are the football club, as I keep saying. And we owed them a result. And obviously FA Cup last week, FA Cup next week. Obviously we want to bounce back, but certainly in the league, and that's exactly what we'll be planning to do.
Well, thank you for talking to us, Josh, and good luck next week.
Thank you, Kate.